Today's case is about Derek Medina. Derek shot his wife and then posted it to Facebook. Yes, you heard me right. He posted it to Facebook. Let's get into it now. Jennifer Alfonso was born December 1st, 1986. She lived in South Miami, Florida. She was described as a spirited woman who loved her 10-year-old daughter, in which she had from a previous relationship than what she was in at the time of this case. They would also say that she was happy and was always smiling. Jennifer was an employee of Denny's restaurant in the Miami area. One day, a gentleman by the name of Derek Medina walked into Denny's while she was working, and they hit it off. They were married in January 2010, but they were described to bicker, argue, fight all the time. So at one point, Jennifer decided, I've had enough. She got her own apartment. Her and Derek would divorce. They divorced in February of 2012. This should be the end of this story. Unfortunately, it is not. Derek started calling, started sweet talking, talked Jennifer into coming back. Her friends did not support this relationship, thinking Derek was just a bit insane. But Jennifer didn't listen, and they remarried in April of 2012. Yes, they remarried. Because, two times a charm. It never works out the second time. But in my experience, should I say. Derek Medina was born March 23rd, 1982. He was a jack of all trades. He was a self-published author of many books, with titles of his books resembling what I call an AliExpress. Check this out. He wanted to be a YouTube star, an actor. He was a boxer at one point where he was 25-0. So I imagine he was a pretty good boxer with that record.
Julio, man, you didn't even record me, man. One more time, one more round. Just hold it and record it. I'm trying to get my kicks. I'm trying to get... Okay, hold on.
I think he wanted to be famous for just anything, something. He dabbled in a little bit of everything. But he didn't hold down a full-time job, or a part-time job for that matter. Derek was described to be into supernatural, into ghost, stuff like that. Jennifer shared the same interest, and they would often visit places that were said to be haunted. They did a little bit of recording of that. He had a bunch of YouTube videos. Yeah, Derek was dabbling in a little of everything. So in efforts to get a sighting of something supernatural, Derek and Jennifer connected cameras throughout their house, hoping that one day they would see something. They had one pointing at the kitchen, which was kind of an interesting spot, like a ghost is going to make a sandwich or something. I don't know. But they had these cameras set up. At this point, Jennifer and Derek had renewed their vows. They're working on the relationship, but they're constantly arguing and fighting. It never got better the second time around. Derek, at one point, just to get a better feel of who he is, said that he wanted to take a gun to the place where Jennifer worked because some guy was hitting on her, and he wanted to wait outside and see if this guy was going to F with him. Nothing happened, but as you can tell, he is not playing with a full deck. Very dark thoughts. Run. That brings us to August 8th, 2013. In typical form, they were fighting and arguing again. Jennifer apparently had asked Derek to wake her up, and he didn't, so she was running late, and she was not happy about it. It sounded like a typical day of just bickering at each other, but this was much different. The argument started in the bedroom, where Derek alleged she had thrown some items at him, like a cream, a box. Oh my God, not a cream or a box. 25 and 0 boxer must have been in fear of his life. So Jennifer goes down to the kitchen to make her daughter some breakfast. Her daughter was up in her room, so Jennifer went down to make her breakfast. Derek came downstairs to the kitchen and they continued their argument. Jennifer was so upset, she hit him in the chest out of frustration. Derek did not like this. So he went back upstairs only to return with a freaking gun. Jennifer grabbed a knife, but unfortunately, he was able to get it out of her hands and just threw it to the side. Then Derek proceeds to shoot her 8 times. 8 times! Remember that camera they had installed in the house to catch ghosts? And it was by the kitchen? Yeah, that camera picked up the gunpowder from him shooting his wife. In a lot of these cases, the husband will call 911, say it's an accident, or he will try, to hide her body or, the evidence, do some cleanup. Not Derek. No. He goes back upstairs, grabs his phone, comes down, and takes a photo of her and posts it to frigging Facebook. Could you imagine you just scrolling through your Facebook and you're like, oh, Trump, oh, so-and-so's eating a cheeseburger, friends and family. And then you come across that photo? Like, what the heck? Traumatizing is what that would be. I'm going to prison or death sentence for killing my wife. Love you guys. Miss you guys. Take care. Facebook people will see me in the news. My wife was punching me and I am not going to stand anymore with the abuse, so I did what I did. I hope you understand me. The screenshot that I was able to grab was 4 hours old. So that Facebook message was up for way too long. I feel awful for her family and her friends that came across that post. What's odd is that Derek had just changed his profile picture of himself to Jennifer and her daughter only 15 hours before the shooting. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me back up a bit. Derek, after shooting Jennifer, goes back upstairs to his room. Puts the gun back to wherever he got it. He changed his clothes. He then goes to the daughter's room and tells her just to stay in her room. Then he walks downstairs again, grabs his phone, and that's when he took the picture. He grabs his coat and then he walks out the door. As he walks by that kitchen, it's like he's checking out his work. His wife is laying there lifeless, and then he takes a picture then walks out the door. He generously locked the door. I don't think it was for Jennifer's daughter's protection, as he just left her there with her lifeless mom. Who could ever do that? That almost burnt me more than the whole accident itself. I was just so angry. It's all bad, but you know what I mean. The daughter would later testify that she wasn't scared of her mom. She was only scared of Derek because he was mean to mommy. Breaks my heart. I'm not sure how long she was there with her mom before the police showed up, but the police did finally come. They broke in and they were able to bring the daughter out of the house. They put a blanket over her head so she wouldn't see anything, and she was able to walk by the kitchen without seeing her mom. I mean, I'm sure she was already traumatized enough at this point because, like I mentioned, that was 8 gunshots. Clearly, she heard something. He said, "Stay in your room," and apparently she did not come out of her room, so she must have been scared to death. A couple of hours later, he shows up at the police station with his dad, turning himself in for what he had done. He's immediately taken into the interview room, and this is what he had to say.
As you know, and why did you do that? Because I'm not a killer. It was self-defense, and I honored my country, I honored my state, I honored the city of South Miami, and I do not feel that I'm guilty. I do not feel like I intently killed. I do not feel like this was, like I was out there to kill her. No, it wasn't. This was self-defense.
There was a fight at your residence this morning?
Yes. Yes.
Around what time did you wake up this morning?
Woke up at 9:30.
And when you woke up, what was the first thing that happened?
She basically came into the room. She basically mentioned, she started ranting about, why we didn't, I didn't wake her up at 1:30 after we went out last night to my yacht club. And I mentioned to her that my stepdaughter was passed out by 10:30 at night.
So she was upset about the plan that she had for you to wake her up at 1:30?
Yes, and correct. And then she started throwing stuff, objects towards me as a weapon. And then I pulled out my weapon, and then I told her, "Hey, back off, or I'm gonna call the cops." And she goes, "Go, I call the cops with her," and I didn't do anything. Oh, sorry. Do anything in Cuba.
I especially like the part where he has to state that I'm not a killer. Shut the front door. You are a killer. He took a picture to show off his work, in my opinion, although he claims it was to let the family know. I have to remind you guys, this man is a 25-0 boxer. He was in such fear for his life. The only thing that he could possibly do is to calmly walk upstairs, get his gun, stroll back down and shoot her. No, he kept on coming to her. Like, she was in the kitchen doing her thing. He kept on walking down to her. So anyways, I think you can tell from the clip the police were not buying what he was selling at all. I think we can all agree that he wasn't scared of her. Well, maybe you guys do. I don't know. So, Derek, why didn't you call 911? Derek, huh? Neighbors were interviewed and described Medina as sketchy. He walked around with a concealed gun so he could try to be like the neighborhood watch guy, always there day and night. It was kind of weird to me, the neighbor would say. Yeah, weird. They charged him with first-degree murder. You can tell by these clips he went through some phases during his trial. He decided that he didn't want a jury trial, that he wanted a bench trial. Of course, that didn't happen. Prosecutors said in closing arguments that Medina coldly shot his wife at close range as she was likely holding her hands up, or she was holding her knees rather than punching and shoving him as he claimed. Medina had time, she said, to think things over after he walked upstairs in their townhouse to get his gun and before he returned to the kitchen to fire the fatal bullets. His defense tried to defend him by saying Jennifer was a dangerous diva, blah, blah, blah. But he posted a picture of her dead body on Facebook. Derek was found guilty and he had some gibberish to share. Here's a clip of that.
Focus Barack Obama president on this corrupted world that I will be suing. Focus, again, presidents and future presidents of the world, okay? I will be suing this world. Not only that, Unfriended the movie by Universal Pictures came out with a movie before my trial, which was unfair, okay? Which was biased. And pretty much the point that I'm trying to make is I did not get a fair trial. And I will be taking action, I will be suing. And I want Barack Obama, the President of the United States of America, to focus on corruption. Corruption is a big problem that we have in the United States of America and all over the world. Nothing further. And oh, God knows the truth, and nothing further.
His lawyer claimed that he had been in solitary confinement for some time, so he just wanted to be heard. Seems like he could have had some time to make some sense, though. It was a 2-week trial, and the jury took 6 hours to deliberate. He got life in prison. Let me know what you think of this case. I just think it's so wild that this man decided to go on Facebook and post it for his family to see. I think I've said that. Oh my gosh, it's just horrible to think that he wanted to be famous so bad. He wanted people to recognize him and know who he was. And I imagine that could be a reason why he put it on Facebook. I have a hard time believing his story that he wanted to inform her family. And the only reason I say that is it wasn't directed to the family. It read, "Hey, Facebook friends, and Facebook friends, I'll miss you. I hope you understand." It was more centered towards him, not her. So that was interesting. This case is all around bananas. This man was definitely someone special. Not in a good way. But let me know your thoughts. If you guys made it to the end, you guys are rock stars and I love you to death. There are more true crime videos in my Captured Killers playlist for you to check out. Either way, stay safe, my loves, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.